Boys and girls, hello again. I know we haven't talked very much. Actually, we haven't talked at all about science since school closed, and we'll be getting back to it next week. But I did think about science quite a bit, and this is a very special week in relation to something we talked about a few weeks ago at school, and that's pollination and the seasons and the coming of spring. Now, you'll notice here on the board that I have a small paragraph. And if you've been following along with the lessons, it might look and sound familiar. I'm going to read it to you. Jack looked across the stream to the dark grove of trees. Moonlight shone on their pale flowers. But where was the treehouse? Now, is there anything weird about this? If you're not sure, you can pause it and think about it. But sometimes people read this and they get a little confused. Flowers in trees? It's true that a lot of trees have flowers, and this is the time that you can see them. And they're mentioned in the Magic Tree House. They're also shown on the cover. You can see behind Jack, there's some pink trees. Those are what we're going to be talking about now. They're very popular in Japan and in America and lots of other places. We're going to talk about the cherry blossom. So let's take a look at a tree called a Shidarezakura. Basically, it's what we call a weeping cherry tree. And it's called weeping because it looks like it's crying. All the branches kind of hang down. And this picture was taken a few days ago, right after we found out that that was our last day of school for a while. So this was Monday after we said goodbye. And I took a picture of it because this is kind of an exciting week for cherry blossoms. You can see the buds are green. They're little bits of pink sticking out. And then a few hours later, I took this close-up picture so you can see some of them are getting close to opening. They're just getting ready for it. Now, the next day, I took this picture, and you can see that there's a lot more pink. These things are starting to open up. They start off more pink in the beginning. Some of them will be white. Some are really dark pink. There are so many different varieties of not just cherry blossoms, but actually blossoms in trees. All fruit trees, all of them have a blossom except for a fig. The fig tree is the only one that doesn't have a blossom. In fact, I'll tell you something strange. The fig itself, the fruit that grows on that tree, is the flower. We'll talk about that some other time. So then we have this cherry blossom here just getting ready to open up. And you can see this was maybe an hour or two later. It's really getting close to opening up. And this was yesterday, so Thursday, and you can really see on the picture on the right that that one is almost completely open. That's one of the first ones to be completely open, and I think today it's probably looking much better. Um, but once all of these things are open, it is a festival of pink. It is so beautiful. Now, this tree, the weeping cherry, doesn't give you any cherries that you can eat. It doesn't, we call it a non-fruit bearing tree. Some trees just give us beautiful flowers. Some of them give us very, very tiny fruit that we can't eat, but birds love. And some will give us delicious fruit as well. And this picture on the left shows what it looked like this morning, just as the sun was kind of breaking through the clouds, and you can see it's almost ready. They're opening up, and what? So this is Friday,
Oh,
March 20th,
hey.
and it's been a big improvement in the blossom since this morning. The sun has come out, And I'll bet you anything in a few more hours this tree will be fuller and pinker. And by Sunday, this might be in full bloom. I'm not sure. I think you're right, Mr. P. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my weeping cherry tree. Bye. Whoa, what a surprise. Wow. Now, all of this is important not because it's pretty, not because it's pink, but it's going to serve a really important purpose. Once those flowers are open and if their color is really good and the shape is right, the bees will come. Now, the bees are looking for pollen, which is this dusty yellowish stuff that's deep inside the flower. They're looking for pollen and they're looking for nectar. Nectar is a little sweet. We can even drink it. They're looking for that. That gives them energy. But while they're digging it out, some of that stuff gets all over their body. And when they go to the next flower to get more, they'll drop some of that pollen, some of that seed, into another flower. And this is called, that's what the pollination is that we talked about in class. So watch this. This is so cool. This is not my video. Watch this. It looks like some of you guys at snack time breaking into a bag of chips. So the bee is getting what it needs from there, but it's also made a mess all over itself. And it's going to drop some of that mess in another flower. It visits a lot of blossoms every day. That's still not the only reason why this is important. It's important because it gives us something to look at, yes, and it's going to help us have fruit, including things like tomatoes. Remember, we said those were a type of fruit, and eggplants and zucchini and things like that. And you've probably seen this picture before because I have it up on my whiteboard in the classroom. The blossom is also a sign of spring. And actually, the kids that we sent our letter to, our pen pals in Japan, they're getting really excited right now because the cherry blossoms are open and their school year ends in March and begins in April. So spring starts, school starts, everybody starts their new jobs, everything happens in April. And the first sign that spring is coming is actually the plum blossom first. We don't have a lot of those around here. And then the cherry blossoms. They're beautiful trees, they're symbols of spring. And these pink flowers, they only last about a week. They're short and beautiful, kind of like life is for some people. So once the blossoms fall off, and they fall off very easily, green leaves come out, and then some trees will also give us fruit. And there you go. So pollination is really important. All right, guys, just a little bit of science today, not too much. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the beautiful day. Goodbye.